damage coming through as well. Of course, you can see all these players, all these teams know to focus up the Iron Giant, get the damage in early, 30%, make it about 50. Omi getting a good combo through, and then spacing it back, tossing out the fire here. You see Sylllepsis struggling to get in and try to get these hits through back onto this dog squad.
Absolutely, it looks like they've released the hounds here. Doing the best they can though. Good spins coming out from Gary there. Trying to see if they can get a bit more damage onto the sidekick there. Trying to catch a little bit more slightly as they head forward. Love this focus though from Omi and PatPost. Doing a lot towards Gary here. 150 almost on the damage ticker there. Really just trying to wring out that Iron Giant as soon as possible. Sylllepsis taking a bit of punishment as well. Good punch. And the house being used by PatPost there. Just trying to see if they can get anything out of it. Really just dedicating themselves to the ground pounds there. Looks like they aren't going to be able to push forward so freely though. They're presently aware of that Iron Giant ability and do not want to be caught in the trap.
See a lot of tacticating coming out, and almost Gary is going to hop aboard the Acme rocket here from Sylllepsis, and you can see just trying to get these rockets in, try to get an early hit, try to follow up. But you can see the dog squad playing together. Good leash out. Tether was there, the crystal in play. It is available. Get back to, but of course you can see 200 and something percentage here for Gary. Needs to be a little bit careful. The Acme rocket not going to help. Sylllepsis sent skyward bound. Volt is tossed out, and you can see the Cream Pie 2 as well being thought about, but at the moment PatPost and Omi, this spacing is so key, and of course just positioning together towards his right hand side with the fire 2. Hard for anyone to deal with the scrap shield coming out. Sylllepsis and his teammate Gary just trying to get some damage back, but of course high percentages looking to go for the downward spike, but they send Gary out of commission, and no follow-up from Sylllepsis. This is a bit of a rough one, but there we go. PatPost finally being sent out, and well, 2-1 lead here for Sylllepsis and Gary.
Definitely looking good so far, Tony. Still more fun on the cards here. Still more chances for them to take more stock at this point. Omi, so close to being ringed out there. Luckily, does use the projectiles to keep themselves alive a little bit longer. Sylllepsis trying to use the safe to get a bit of damage on Omi. Not going to be able to lock it in there. Scrap shield still doing a lot of effective damage as well there for Gary. We'll see if they can manage to find anything else, though. Sitting so close is Sylllepsis. They almost go for the up attack with a baseball bat. Trading one stock each is now going to be in favor of Omi and PatPost. One more stock is all they need on both sides. This one's getting so tight. Dmooky almost getting touched there. Now hits towards that reset zone. Last one down will be the loser here. Somebody's trying to take victory. This one is incredibly tight, Tony.
Incredibly tight. You can see the scrap shield being put on by Gary. Is trying to stave off that damage up to 130% almost, and Sylllepsis is just trying to help him out for the moment. You can see spin into the bat, into the dream play. You can see Sylllepsis just trying to put some pressure back on Omi and PatPost, the dog squad here. It's still anybody's map to take. In this first one, the bat comes out to send Omi upward. Rockets come through. It is an upward spike to send the Iron Giant out, and Omi PatPost take home map number 1.
Cutting it really down to the wire there towards the conclusion of that series, Tony. But regardless, Omi and PatPost do manage to lock in and take away the first game of our series here. And I'm eager to see if things will continue to trend in this direction heading towards game 2. Looking at the replay now just to see how it all managed to reach its final ending here. As Gary there tries to do something, does get bounced off the ground pound into the Acme rocket and straight up to the top of the map. So really well placed, strategized shots there coming out from the side of Omi and PatPost to really close out that first game there. Regardless, though, we've still got at least a few more games ahead of us here into this series, as it is going to be a best of 5 all the way through to the grand final.
A best of 5 all the way through. And of course, is going to be an interesting one. The winner of all of it in this losers bracket, Matt, goes on to face Caboose and Nagima. And what a game that would be. Of course, Omi PatPost, though, taking map number 1 here. It's a good thing. Dog Squad was a very rough concept that we were looking at going into that winners, but seems to not do too bad against the Iron Giant here of Gary. It came down to the wire. Both teams went down to that 3-stock mark. But map number 2 underway. Sylllepsis onto the Tom and Jerry once again. Or maybe it could be the Bugs Bunny. It is going to be the Bugs Bunny. No Tom and Jerry for Sylllepsis. Interesting hover, though, maybe thinking about it, but still wanting to stick with the roots. The Dog Squad once again. That fire is so hard to push against. You can see that, of course, PatPost and Omi, they know how to play around it. They can get some chip damage in, but they can also get some hits just behind it.
It's good to see that on the Bugs Bunny, we are seeing the Lingering Love signature perk being picked up as well. It means when Bugs goes for the kisses there, it does leave behind a floating heart, and enemies who run into that will be charmed. And so the charm will be giving them a good chance to do a bit of damage whilst they are disorientated there. Regardless, though, we get into the series once again here. Sylllepsis and Gary versus Omi and PatPost this time. And we are off and firing away. Damage already being focused up, it would seem, towards Omi this time. Looks like Gary going to take a bit of damage themselves, though. Trying their best to just do as much punishment as they can to that Iron Giant. Really just get them out of the equation as quickly as possible here, Tony.
Yeah, the spiral spin as well coming in from Gary. Not quite hitting its marks and not the amount of pressure being put on that Gary would like. And you can see the skateboard being pulled out, just bouncing on top of the Iron Giant's head. Getting some early damage in once again. It's always what we expect to see in this 2v2 situation, but you can see that Sylllepsis is finding these ring outs despite Gary taking all the damage, and that's what you need to see out of your second. Find the space, room, the space to work with the bolt tossed out too. But again, Jake the Dog bouncing on top of his Iron Giant with a skateboard. It's another ring out for Sylllepsis and Gary. They've come back with a fighting force, and you can see already 3-1, Matt.
Definitely getting close so far for Sylllepsis and Gary, and it looks like they're going to take it even further beyond now. Gary almost being ringed out of the map. Not going to be taken down without a fight, though. Looking to see if they can ring out of their own. Omi finds one at least, trying to use the fireball to their advantage. Getting close to ringing out Gary there. Oh, so tight to the ceiling. My gosh, Gary's still alive somehow. They do manage to keep it locked and loaded here, going into their ultimate form as well. Just doing as much damage as possible. Gary just trying to keep themselves skybound and present in this matchup. Omi and PatPost playing from a distance for now, but they can't maintain it forever.
Going to get the ring out. Sylllepsis and Gary out of nowhere able to take it. Perfect follow-up after what felt like such a rough start. It was a rough end almost to that one. Sylllepsis and Gary, they're able to close it. Omi PatPost, a rough one to lose it out there. As we take a look at our replay to see just what happened at the end there. Gary getting a good upward spike in, and then Sylllepsis with the follow-up. Map number 2 taken 1-1 in the series, Matt. Dmooky, Sylllepsis, they're not done with this one just yet.
Not quite yet, Tony. There's still plenty more action left in this series here. We could see it go all the way to 5 if it keeps up like this, Tony, but who knows? We've definitely got a lot of potential behind these teams, so that is for sure. And I'm eager to see just how it's all going to happen when we do get back into action for Game 3 here. Looks like I am seeing Trophy's Edge potentially be locked in for the third map here. So we'll see which of these two teams can take advantage now, because, you know, after this one, either of the teams is going to have that 2-1 lead. And then that'll put them on series point, where they'll only need to take one more map from there in order to progress through the losers bracket here. But we are getting back in action right now. Omi, PatPost, Sylllepsis, and Gary going to be locking in the Reindog, Jake, Bugs Bunny, and Iron Giant to jump right into our third partition of this series here. So, Tony, let's get the rest of this best of 5 underway.
Best of 5 here losers quarters. Winner of this goes on to face the winner of Shmori, Derek, and Jonna and Mr. Red, who we'll be seeing after this one. It all tied up, Matt, and interesting enough, no composition swaps for either side. We go into it. Sky Arena, Sylllepsis, and Gary. The dog squad here. It's only PatPost getting some early pressure in, flying about the map to and fro. Good return damage though on Jacob Dog, up to 30% to Omi as well at that 30% mark. Nobody is getting the hits into Sylllepsis though. He's just floating about, playing a ample key point to look for these knockdowns. And you can see Jake the Dog 97%. PatPost needs to be a little bit careful of Sylllepsis.
Absolutely, Tony needs to maintain that care there. Otherwise, if they are not careful enough, we will find a first stock taken as Sylllepsis and Gary do take it away with a bang there. Love the isolation coming through as well, just trying to create space between Omi and PatPost there, not allow them to work off each other. Instead, they're going to have to work from a distance. So they are able to at least build up a little bit of damage onto Gary though, even using the tether now to do the very best that they can here. Lots of potential coming through there. Good usage of the boat. See if they can take it on a venture. Try and see if they can lock in the damage. More stock's been taken though by Sylllepsis. Good to see they're able to take two now. Omi and PatPost, they're struggling, but they do find one back. Close to another on Sylllepsis. They just need to find the kill.
Yeah, Sylllepsis needs to be a little bit careful up to high percentage and was waiting for Gary to get back into the map. Scrap Shield to come out here. Is trying to get the damage in. Attack decay onto Jake the Dog. PatPost feeling a little bit more pressure than they would like. Crystal is put up. Tether is being thought about. They do find the returner to even it to the 2-for-2 ring outs here. Is going to be Spiral Spin into finisher. Match point here for Sylllepsis and Gary. You see that Gary being a threatening force here, not playing as passive as you'd expect from the Iron Giant, and it will be the upward ring out. Sylllepsis and Gary to take the lead in the series.
There we have it, 2-1 in favor of Sylllepsis and Gary there. They do take away game number 3 in their favor now. Definitely establishing a lot of pressure there. I really enjoyed how they were able to create that distance between the two teammates of Omi and PatPost and just try and take clear advantage from there. Closing it off with the upwards bada swing as well to finish things up for our third game here, Tony. But we still got at least one more map in this series. As Sylllepsis and Gary do take it 2-1. They only need one more map to win, but we could see another map taken by Omi and PatPost as well. There's still hope yet. Could be another 5-gamer, Tony, but who knows? It's all on the table now, though.
Yeah, who knows? It could be all on the table for either side, of course. But I have to say, this Bugs and Iron Giant combo, a little bit different than what we normally get to see, especially with, the Caboose and Nagima composition. The Velma into the Iron Giant, of course. Velma a little bit more floaty than your Bugs pick here, and of course we go back into it. Curious to see whether Sylllepsis looks to stay with that one, or maybe we see a Tom and Jerry, because it was being hovered, Matt. It was being tempted, but Sylllepsis hasn't yet to lock it in. We go to Sky Arena for map number 4. Omi, PatPost, keeping with the dog squad, and Gary maybe moving off the Iron Giant.
Thinking about it. Definitely pondering on the option there. Looks like they are just going to be hovering over a pick or two for now, but it will be Iron Giant locked in eventually there, Tony. Just tempting fate, maybe playing with our hearts a little bit there. Trying to make us think what could be. Looks like we are going to get back in action, though. Standard picks coming out from all of the players again, and we will see the Jake, the dog, as well as the Reindog, as well as the Iron Giant coming at you with Bugs Bunny here. So, 4th game in this series so far. Definitely keen to see how it's all going to be played out as we load our way into the gamer server now. Players prepared, amped up, and ready for war here. We're on the Sky Arena with the platforms, Tony. Here we go.
Here we go into it, an immediate bolt tossed out. Pressure is being put on once again this Iron Giant, but spiral spin, they're looking for Jake the Dog. They're looking to follow up Sylllepsis with the good engage. The bat being tossed out, the spin onto Omi, but you can see that being answered back right now are Omi and PatPost. Fire is being tossed out, the leash is in play, and you can see the chip damage coming through, getting onto Iron Giant. 100% Matlick following up very much perfectly right now, but almost an upward spike out from Sylllepsis.
Ooh, getting close there, Tony, but not close enough quite yet. Both teams are definitely having their good exchange of blows. We'll see if they can find a few more, though. Good to see the upward swing there. PatPost almost being ringed out. Does manage to dodge their way out of it, though. Still maintaining their grasp on their life. Good ticks of weakness coming through as well. Just trying to see if they can keep themselves grounded here. Good grab, though, from Gary. Not able to launch them to the skies just yet. PatPost trying to see if they can get the skateboard out to do a bit more for themselves. Gary finding the afterburners as well. Will be doing a good job at just keeping that distance there. Good punch combo from Omi and PatPost now. Trying to swing one out. Great spikes coming out from Omi and PatPost. They take 2 stock away. They're so damaged, though. They need to try and do a bit of damage themselves before one of them gets ringed out too.
Yeah, they need to be a little bit careful. You can see that Gary is going to be tossing out the scraps, trying to get the damage in. Sylllepsis upward. Right hand jab is going to send Omi off the map. They still now need to chase on, put pressure on the PatPost, and here's another kick. It's immediately Sylllepsis and Gary finding 2 back and looking for a little bit more spacing. Is great though from Omi and PatPost, taking very little damage after the knockout game in. It's going to be the spiral spin, sending both players towards the right-hand side of the map. So let's a little bit late to follow up with that one. 89 now to 101% for Gary, but still looking for pressure. The fire is on. Omi is getting so much chip damage in with this Reindog. I have to say, it's been a very much small thing we haven't gotten to see so far. Reindog very good as a supportive character in the 2v2s, helping Jake the Dog follow up with some of these combos. Scrap shield is out. Gary and Sylllepsis going to put the pressure back on.
The pressure is continuing to build over and over again here, Tony, but all the pressure continues to build with damage here. Either team could be ringed out at any possible moment. Ooh, Gary trying to play off the map this time, maybe bait something out. They're getting pretty close to the edge there. PatPost and Omi looking to lock in on Sylllepsis, though. Looks like they have taken them down to quite heavy ticks of damage. 141 on Sylllepsis, 182 so far on Gary. Anyone just needs to find a ring out at this point. See if they can catch someone. Sylllepsis so close. Uses the safe, though. Keep themselves sky high for the time being. Good tick of damage there from Gary. Nice usage of the horse there from PatPost. They aren't ringed out yet, though. Omi might be able to take advantage here. Either side needs to find something. There's the first ring out on Omi. Another one could follow, but no, they're not out of it yet, Tony.
I've never seen an Iron Giant and a Bugs Bunny be so slippery and so scared to get knocked out, but it's the follow-up double. Omi and PatPost able to even it up, and Matt, I was going to say Sylllepsis and Gary playing so smooth there in the float back into the map, but in the end of it, PatPost and Omi takes the number 5.
Oh my gosh, Tony. Map number 5. We will see a quick replay from Game 4 as well here. Just how this all reached its ultimate conclusion, or some good plays from the matchup, rather. Seeing the great double ring outs there, as well as a few more pieces of fun coming at us as well, Tony. But we've got 5th and a final game before us. Looks like we are seeing the rest of our replay as well now. So good to see how it all managed to reach its ending here. Lots of damage being dealt across both sides, but ultimately, Omi and PatPost do manage to close it out and take away Game 4 in their favor. So, 2 games apiece now for these teams. Definitely keen to see which of the 2 rosters will be able to send us off further along into our losers bracket here, as it looks like off stream at the moment, we are having our second losers quarterfinal played out. Smori and Derek, as well as Z Joa and Mr. Red, Both of those teams at the moment, one map each. So definitely keen to see who will be facing each other in our losers semi-final after this series, as well as our next one, or the one below it rather, concludes.
Yeah, we'll wait to see that one. Sylllepsis, Omi, Gary, and PatPost all looking to get ready to up to our final one. Sky Arena seems to be the favorable pick being thought about. And of course, I have to say, Sylllepsis and Gary came so close to making that one a 2-4 ring out there, but Omi and PatPost able to find the double up necessary to close that one out, Matt. Sylllepsis and Gary, as well as Omi, PatPost, one away from moving on through this losers bracket, looking to make their run possible. And it is going to be interesting to see, of course, the double dog setup, dog squad here for Omi and PatPost. I had a very little faith in it, Matt, but it seems to not be too bad. And of course, going against this Iron Giant and of course Bugs combo, a little bit better, I have to say, and a little less pressure being brought out by Sylllepsis and Gary.
Looks like we are going to be getting the fifth and final game of this series underway, though, Tony. Picks being locked in again. Bugs Bunny and Iron Giant for Sylllepsis and Gary there. And Omi and PatPost going to be picking out the Reindog and Jake here. Definitely keen to see which of these two teams will be able to close out this series and push their way to our losers semi-final here, as we do load our way straight into the game server right now. This is going to be an absolute thriller, Tony.
An absolute thriller. We'll be waiting on the game server. Map number 5 underway. Omi, PatPost looking to bring the dog squad through this losers bracket. Sylllepsis and Dmooky stand in their way. Early Vault comes out, and Dmooky looking to get on top of these players, get the spiral spike there. He hits some good damage onto Jake the dog, and you can see the leash. Of course, the tether forces both these players back on top of each other. That's how you want to play. Charmed tactic there onto Jake the dog, just getting so many hits in and getting decayed so well by Sylllepsis and Dmooky at the moment. But you can see such high percentage building once again, but the downward spike followed up by Sylllepsis with Pat and the rockets is very much a hard thing to answer for. You can see the pie coming through the floor, the bolt. Finds Sylllepsis the first ring out.
Ooh, they almost got close to another one on the PatPost as well. Looks like Gary there. Gonna be just staying alive for the time being. Getting a little bit of heals coming through as well. 156 damage for now. Trying to see if they can lock in and kill on to Omi for now. But Omi's still alive, using their fire to their advantage to keep themselves from ringing out early on here. Looks like Gary getting close to the ceiling though, but Sylllepsis locks in number 2 now. Both of these players ever so damaged though. Omi and PatPost, they need to find another stock coming out as soon as possible. Otherwise it could be dangerous. Looks like they do find their first now. Sylllepsis being so sticky with this one, just slipping around the arena right now, not finding any opportunity to ring them out.
Yeah, you can see the damage has been dealt up onto Omi. You can see Gary, once back on, is able to find the engagements there. There's going to be a freeze, weaken onto Jake the dog. Finds 5 here, attack the K2. You can see that Gary has been built up to this high percentage mark 2 though. It's very, very rough for Sylllepsis and Gary, who need to find one crucial ring out to get themselves to match in series point. Trap toss in the face of Jake the dog. Damage being dealt, another bolt being picked up, the spiral spin. Sylllepsis looking for downward spike, but it is going to be Omi to even it back up. Sylllepsis now needs to put pressure on immediately as soon on the respawn. We'll be able to find the spike, the ring out, match point now here for Sylllepsis and Gary trying to send Omi off the edge.
It's so dangerous for Omi right now. They're almost off the edge of the map. They're trying to help their teammate. They do find a stock back though. This is huge for them. Both teams now. One more is all they need. This is going to be crucial moments here. Omi just trying to play off the ledge, shoot the fire onto their enemies, not take any damage, but Omi's gone! Gary and Sylllepsis take it away. It is going to be 3-2 in their favor, Tony, and they push on to the losers semi-final.
Sylllepsis Dmooky able to come out on top of us. Of course, we watch those final moments here. Gary putting himself in the fire and putting himself in a great position there. Downward spike just not quite hitting, and then the second one able to send Omi packing and able to send those two to the losers semis there. Matt, what a game it was, and we've still got plenty more where that came from.
Absolutely, Tony. Keen to see how they're all going to play out. Obviously, Sylllepsis and Gary will be moving on to our losers semi-final, where they will face either Smori and Derek, or otherwise Z, Joa, and Mr. Red, depending on the conclusion of their series. But whilst we get things set up for the next one and wait for things to play out in our currently ongoing series, we are just going to head to a short break. So we will be back in a jiffy. Welcome back, everybody, to our MultiVersus Oceania Winter Championship 2022. Big shout out to Couch Warriors here for supporting us, as well as Astro coming at you as well with the support there. But we have got our losers semi-final coming at you next. It will be Sylllepsis and Gary versus Smory and Derek. So Smory and Derek did win out their series there, 3-1 against Zijoa and Mr. Red. And we will be getting into the action there very, very soon. But Tony, how are you feeling about this one? Because now we've got a bit of a glimpse